Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am here today to try out some new makeup with y'all. I tend to do one of these at least once a month, and I figured, you know what? This is the Sephora VIB sale month. I have done my haul video, which I'll put up in a card if you haven't seen it. And I thought I would use a lot of the stuff that I got in the haul, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And then maybe some other stuff that I didn't get from Sephora, but I have gotten recently. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to start off with face makeup. The SPF I have on right now is one that I hauled, one that I have used many, many times before. It's the Supergoop Matte Screen, Mineral Matte Screen. So that's what I have on the skin right now. It's actually very late afternoon. I was like, I have some free time. I went and washed my face off with my makeup, put a little bit of beta-glucan serum for some hydration, slapped a moisturizer, and put the SPF on. So that's all I have on my skin right now. We are going to do a little bit of correcting, and this is a new product. I didn't get this from Sephora. I need to actually even see if you can get it at Sephora, but I got it during the Clinique sale. And it is the Airbrush Concealer. Now, someone commented on my full face of Clinique makeup and said that this is one of their favorite products to color correct with. So I got the shade Light Honey number 7. So it has a little bit of a peachy undertone to it. And it does come in like a click up brush applicator, which is definitely not my favorite way to apply product, but it's fine. I have some other correctors that I like to do this with too. So I'm just gonna put a little bit right where I am the darkest. And it probably looks like skin tone across the camera, and it does melt in really well with my skin tone, but it does have that kind of peachy orange undertone. Now, I don't know if you can still get this particular brush, but I have really been liking to use this for corrector and concealer lately. This is the Sephora Pro Foundation number 47. So I know that they're the Sephora Pro line of brushes, they kind of redid the line, and a lot of people are saying that they are not near as good as the originals, which this one is from the original line. So I will link if I can find number 47, but I can't promise that it's going to be as good as this one. So this is definitely not the highest coverage color corrector that I have in my collection by any means. It is very lightweight. It is very light coverage, but there are some days where I find I want that because it wears really nicely under concealer because it is so lightweight. So, you know, I will forfeit coverage for good wear, and I do that sometimes when I use this product. So even though, again, it doesn't have the highest coverage, I am using a full coverage concealer on top, and I love the way it feels and wears. So this I really like. It's an A+. Now I'm going to be trying out a matte foundation today. So I want to put a little bit of illumination underneath. I've actually tried mixing these two products as well, but I thought just to give you an idea of what the foundation looks like on its own applied, I will put it on underneath. And this is the Chanel Le Beige Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid. I got this at the Chanel Atelier Beauté pop-up that was in Austin. When I was visiting Courtney, we went and did a little bit of shopping, and this is in the shade Sun-Kissed. So it's just a liquid illuminator. It is the darker of the two shades that are available. It's still not too dark, but I got this color because I knew that the majority of the time I would be using this to either do what I'm about to do or mix in with foundation. So I'm actually gonna take this is a Smashbox angled powder brush, but I like it for liquids. And I'm just gonna kind of pat this onto the high points in my cheeks. And I think this is a good way for you to see the actual color too. Like against my non-self tan skin, it is a little bit darker. I definitely, if I was just gonna wear this, would benefit more from the lighter shade, but because I like to warm up foundations with liquid illuminators, or because I knew I was gonna be wearing it underneath, like now, look at that shine it's giving my cheeks. I was fine with this color. But that gives you an idea of what it would look like if you just wore it by itself or on top of a foundation. So the foundation that I'm going to use is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Matte Foundation. This is one of the ones that I hauled. So this retails for $49. It comes in 35 shades, claims to have medium coverage with a matte finish, also claims to be waterproof, yet hydrating, long-wearing liquid formula. It also says it's skincare infused, but if you don't know my stance on that, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't think it's going to hurt a foundation as long as you're not allergic to any of the skincare ingredients they add, but I don't necessarily think that it helps the skin either. It does say it has 97% natural origin ingredients and 82% skincare formula. It does contain alcohol, which most I feel like matte foundations do. And it also contains fragrance. So I know those are deal breakers for a lot of people. I have the shade 3N250. Now I talked about, that's it right there. It's a semi-thick formula. I talked about in my haul video that I had tried this once by the time I talked about it in that video, and that I liked it, and that upon first, like initial wear, it reminded me a lot of the Lancome Tawny Doll, which if you're new to my channel, is definitely a favorite of mine. I love that foundation. This is a very similar color to 260 Bisque Neutral in that foundation, if you are familiar with those shades. I do think it is a medium coverage, and I do agree that it is a matte formula. That's why I wanted to put that liquid illuminator underneath, because when I wear matte formulas and I maybe don't necessarily want to be super matte, I will put the illuminator underneath, or I will mix it in with the foundation. So that is 1.5 pumps. I still have probably about a half a pump left on the back of my hand. I feel like this is a great shade match. It is a solid neutral shade. I liked how it wore. I didn't love how it wore when I mixed it with an illuminator. I liked it better when I wore it on its own, or like on top of one like I'm wearing now. It is so similar to me, but not quite as good as the Lancome, that I don't think I can say, hey, this is worth going to get if you A, have the Lancome, or even B, haven't tried it and want to, because the Lancome's cheaper. Not that much cheaper. Actually, it's like $2 cheaper. I feel like it used to be 42 bucks. They've gone up on everything. I don't dislike this by any means. It's very similar. It's just not as good. So if I had to pick between the two, because they are so similar to me, I would definitely go with the Lancome. Now let's talk about, hands down, my favorite product that I hauled from Sephora. And that is this Lawless Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer. I'm going to tell y'all, if you missed my haul, I honestly was not going to get this. I didn't even know about this. It's new. Somebody commented on a video, told me about it, that they wanted to get it. And I was like, oh, let me just try it out. Even though, again, I have not been the biggest fan of Lawless complexion products in the past. This, however, amazing. The only thing I don't like about it is this stinking applicator. I showed it in my haul. It's a doe foot, but look at how much product comes out on that applicator. It's really insane. So you don't need much at all. It is a full coverage concealer. Like, I don't need any more than that. I am in the shade Ballet. It says it is a long wearing, lightweight concealer that delivers medium to full coverage with a self-setting, soft focus finish that feels comfortable on the skin. The only thing I cannot say is true in that, because I haven't tried it, is the self-setting aspect. I really just like to set my under eyes. Always have, will probably for a very long time. I can't say I always will, but I'm just not to the point where I don't want to set my under eyes. So I have not tested it that way. All of the other claims are spot on. To me, this is pretty full coverage. I can get obviously more coverage if I used more. It's so easy to apply and blend out. It is definitely comfortable on the skin. It is definitely lightweight. It is so pretty in its wear. Like, a concealer has not impressed me this much since I started using my Clinique. If you know me, you know that's saying a lot, because Clinique is just such a favorite of mine. And I went in with the illuminator brush. I just realized, wow, I'm gonna have some radiant under eyes. That's hilarious. I picked it up. It was right next to the one that I told y'all I like to be using. And it's not the one I used, but that's okay. It looks fine. It wears so beautifully. Y'all, I am so impressed with this. A++ Lawless, because again, I just have not been overly impressed with their foundations before. And did they even have a concealer before this? I feel like they did. I might have tried it and not loved it. This one, I love. Definitely my favorite. Long wearing, skin nourishing, Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer. For powder, I'm going to use the Saie Air Set Radiant Loose Setting Powder. I got it in the shade Translucent. So it comes in this pretty little skinny packaging, has the typical twist to open package. And I mentioned in my haul when I first got this and I swatched it, I'm like, I don't know, because it is definitely radiant. When you swatch, you can see little specks of shimmer. And I was like, I just don't know if that's really what I'm looking for in a powder. But look at that. Look at this. I'm going to do a close-up. Pores be gone. Filtered finish. This is without. You can see, I mean, it's a matte foundation. It's more luminous, not set, than it is set. But I don't want to take away from the fact that this isn't mattifying on the skin. Don't ask me where the little specks of shimmer went because they don't show up on my skin. It is very, very, very pretty. And honestly, exactly what I have been looking for in a setting powder. So A++ for that too, y'all. This is the first time I have done a haul from Sephora where I have liked everything and I don't want to return anything. I truly think it's the first time. I am happy with everything. I did just realize that I forgot to use a cream bronzer because the powder bronzer that I'm going to talk about, I don't love for the face. This is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Face and Eye Bronzer and Highlighter Palette. So this is one of the ones that I did not have yet as of the time that I filmed my haul, but obviously it has since come in. It actually came in later that day that I filmed. I have been using it more on my eyes than I have on my face for a couple of reasons. So I put my brush into this shade right here, which is called Private Island. A little bit, you can see is darker right there, got into the next shade. That's one of the reasons is that the pans are so skinny. You definitely have to have a certain brush to be able to keep it to one color. You know, I love my Refer 22 brush, but there is no way. It would cover like 4 colors in that. It's a large bronzer brush and it would not work. Now, let me say, I don't dislike this for bronzer on the face. I think you can see it's actually a really pretty color, but because of the size of the pans, I just can't see myself reaching for this that much for bronzer. If you're someone like me who has a heavy hand, it's a good formula because you really can build it up. So again, it's not bad. It's pretty. It buffs out even prettier. I just have bronzers that I love even more on the face and that definitely have easier to access pan sizes. I'm going to use it on the eyes though. I'll talk about that when I get there. For highlight, this is another thing that I did not get at Sephora, but this is the newest Chanel highlight. I got this at the pop-up with Courtney as well. And it's the Rev de Camellia Powder Illuminator. And this is one of those ones that I didn't even want to use because of how gorgeous it is. I mean, look at that. So pretty. But it's also a Chanel highlighter with a really pretty shade. So I'm going to use it. I love Chanel highlighters when they bring out their collections. If they have an illuminator, such as this, as part of the collection, that's what I'm going to get. I didn't get anything else that launched with the collection, but I did get this because I like to collect Chanel highlighters. I like to collect Chanel highlighters. And I honestly, oh my goodness, it's too late in the afternoon. I was like, I honestly shouldn't be using them if I'm truly collecting them because I don't want to mess them up. But again, they're just too pretty not to. It's a nice champagne-y gold shade. It's definitely one that's going to work best for me in the spring and summer because it is a tad deeper than I usually wear, but it still works. Now, this is a blush that I got from the Clinique sale. Y'all, I think I placed 3 orders from that sale that they had the 30% off. I just kept trying stuff because y'all kept commenting on that video telling me, oh, you've got to get this, you've got to get this. So I got the corrector because somebody told me I would like it. I got this because somebody told me I would like it, and they were correct. This is the Blushing Blush Powder Blush. If there's one thing I've noticed is Clinique really likes to be redundant in their product names. This is a blush and it is in the shade Aglow. And there's not a ton of product. As you can see, a brush was right here and I took it out, but it is such a pretty glowy peach blush. And that is my kind of blush. So I have been pulling this out again when I wear matte foundations and I want just a little bit more shine on the cheeks. I really like to do that. I like to wear matte for longevity and then be able to apply the sheen to my cheeks with my blush and highlighter. And as you can see, this is the perfect shade to do that. Now I am gonna buff, but I'm not gonna put any product on my brush because I don't need any more sheen. So I'm just gonna go in, buff out any harsh lines, and that is the complexion. Very, very pretty products. I don't dislike anything that I used. So let's go ahead and use this palette for eyes. Now I will say that even though it's not my favorite for bronzer, it obviously still works, as you can see, and it is a great travel palette for that reason. It is going to have your bronzers, your eyeshadows, maybe your highlights. I don't know that I would use either one of these highlights. This one's definitely too dark. This one probably would work, but I still probably would take something separate. But it's still a good all-in-one palette for bronzer and eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take that same shade that I used for bronzer and put that in my crease. I am sure that everybody and their mama is using this palette for their like Sephora get ready with me's. So this might be redundant. I haven't seen anybody use it yet, but again, that doesn't mean they're not. And I'm just gonna put this all in the crease. I wore this for probably about 3 days in a row, this look, because no fuss, very neutral. These do lean a little bit warm, but you're gonna see I'm gonna use a pink lipstick. So they're not so warm that I can't wear pink lipstick or pink blush because I have done both and it works. And then I'm gonna take this lightest highlight shade with my pinky because I do like to apply this with my finger. I just feel like it goes on very nicely. Now I've tried it by itself, which you can see the pigment is really nice. But I've also tried it on top of like a cream shadow stick and it's even more like in your face, very shiny. This is a very summer palette to me because I just like wearing these easy, no fuss bronze looks. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this next to darkest color right here, which is called Cocoa Naughty. And I'm going to put a little bit in the outer corner. This is like my go-to eye look. Something in the crease, something on the lid, something on the outer corner to give a little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to take the darkest shade, which is called Thick Mint. These shades. This has a little bit of a red undertone to it. I haven't done this yet. Oh my goodness. So satisfying. I usually let my girls do it because they love it so much, but I needed this mirror. So it's definitely like a red brown. It reminds me of a powder form of MAC Costa Riche. So if you are familiar with that pencil shade, this is basically the powder form. I'll go in with a smaller brush and that same shade. You know what? I'm going to mix a little bit of that shade that I used in the crease and then a little bit of that shade right next to it that we haven't used yet and use that to smoke my under eyes. And then use that shade that we used on the lid for the inner corner and brow bone. See what I mean by just all in one palette? You just don't need much else. Okay, I didn't have a new mascara, but as I was applying my primer, I was like, why am I not showing you this? This is the Fit Glow Beauty Plum Lash Primer. So this is new. This is from Fit Glow Beauty, and it is a plum colored lash primer. So I have been using this for the past probably week under my mascara. And I use my Jane Iredale Beyond Lash volumizing mascara. And I just feel like it works well. I like that it's plum. A lot of people don't like using mascara primers because they're white. And sometimes they feel like they can't really cover up all of the white, which is definitely something that can be an issue. And this being plum is going to give you all the benefits of a primer, but it's not going to show up white. It's not gonna be hard to cover up. You can't hardly even see it once it's on your lashes. So far so good with that. Now let's finish up with some lips and then I'll spray on some perfume and we'll be done. This was sent to me by a company called Kiss and Smink. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kiss and S-M-I-N-K. And this is their lip crayon. I'll put down the actual name in the description box. I got a couple of colors, but this is definitely my favorite, and this is called Martinique. And I'm gonna put it on, but you can see it's just a very pretty, somewhat nude pink. Are we surprised? I've worn this shade a couple times, and I always like how it turns out. It is a crayon, so it's a little more matte, but it's not like suck you dry matte by any means. I've used crayons that are way more drying than this, and I really like the color. It's just a Mandy color. So I like that one for sure. They also sent me like a cream highlight and cream blush, but I haven't had a chance to try those out, so I'll keep y'all informed on that. You know I am a lip gloss girl, so this is definitely not new, but it's new to me. I haven't had this in my collection for a few years now, and I got it during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, where I think it was like 10 bucks. It's the Buxom Full-On Plumping Lip Cream in White Russian. Definitely not new. I've gone through many of these, like I said, a few years ago. And you know, you get new things, you forget about the things that you used to absolutely love and use multiple loves, like this, and it takes you a while to get them back in your collection. I'm so glad that I did. So let's take the hair down, and we are finished with the look. This is the finished look using a lot of the products that I got from my Sephora haul. So hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, I will have everything linked down below. I am hoping to get this up on the last day of the Sephora sale, so that possibly if you're interested in some of these, you can still get them at a discount, and I do use affiliate links. Thank y'all so much for those of you who use them, because it really helps support my channel. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss any future ones. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, safe, and sane, and that most of all, you go out and have a very blessed day.